Synthetic versus cotton.
Yes.
As we just mentioned, yes, definitely. I would say, when from a buyer point of view, when I'm buying and I'm sourcing, uh, it is maybe like we will not go from one product to the other in terms of, let's say, outerwear versus blouses or tops. So India, if it's a tops market, let's say if a vendor is doing tops, so in the tops segment only, we have to cover all the fabrics, all kind of fibers. So there also we have got synthetic and we have got cotton. So first of all, we need to bring that readiness in a factory. And from a customer point of view, if I'm looking at a source or a vendor, then I will look at it. If I'm buying blouse, then all kind of blouses can we get or not. Somehow, like India, and specifically North India, is identified as only value-added styles. Like we can do embroidery, we can do cut work, we can do burnout and all those kind of things. And somehow we got limited only to that. So that's a product niche that we are talking about. So if you have to go, see from a customer point of view, who are the customers today? Like we have to do an in-depth study of the customer base. If you're talking about a US market or Western market, let's say Europe, we have department stores, we have specialty brands. Each one of them have their own target, own customer segment. So like when they are sourcing, we have to understand like how they are making their sourcing decision and put our solutions accordingly. Shifting between, only thing that from my experience, what I understand is shifting between a normal garment to an outerwear could be difficult, but within that garment, like within the tops, if you can cover the entire basket, polyester blouse, viscose, rayon, those kind of blouses, and then you have got cotton blouses. That itself will cover the gamut in that. Of course, the hindrance is the duty structure in most of the countries. US definitely, for any synthetic that goes out of India, the duty goes up by almost like, 14%.
So it's 16 to 30%.
Yeah. So that's a huge
jump. Yeah.
Jump. But yeah, that's I think valid for most of the countries.
Yeah.
It's not like India is the only one who is fighting for it. India has got a fairly good supply of viscose now. Polyester, I think we are missing because both in terms of skill level, because polyester fabric, when you're stitching, the kind of skill that is needed, I don't see that happening in the north. Okay, there would be exceptions. Somebody is doing it maybe. But that something was not in generally available. So that's where I think understanding like what is our production capability, what's our manufacturing capability, whether the factory is smart enough or not, have the right machinery, have the right skills, those things comes in. Again, if I again switch back to my buying role, then I will be looking for that. Like I should be able to buy all kind of blouses from one particular source. And if that is done, then also like the seasonality is taken care of. The Western market, the person doesn't stop wearing blouses in the winter. They may not be wearing those heavily embroidered cut work or that kind of blouses in winter. They would be wearing more kind of basic shirt blouse kind of product, or maybe some synthetic polyester blouses goes very high, and polyester with combination various kind of blends that goes high. We have something called the flannel, the brushed flannels of cotton, viscose or blends. Those goes high. Somehow, like in India and especially in North India, I have seen in my experience, nobody targets to book those business. The reason for not targeting that business, I would say, is the cost competitiveness. We have a particular structure. When you go into spring, summer, we get a certain margin. But in fall holiday, maybe like the margin for this kind of basic construction goes down from a buying price point of view. So that expectation, I think, is not met out here. So if you can solve for that, then the business can run all through year round. Answering to you.